My beloved child, listen closely. What you are about to hear is not random, and it is not here by accident. Something unseen has been moving around your life, quietly, patiently, waiting for the right moment. And that moment is now. Before your mind tries to rush ahead, slow down. Hold on, stay with me. This message was released for people who have been carrying silent weight, unspoken questions, and deep confusion about why life keeps blocking them even when they do everything right. You may have felt it. A sudden heaviness without a reason. Delays that make no sense. Support disappearing at the last moment. Respect turning into silence. And a strange feeling that someone, somewhere, does not want you to rise. This is not imagination. Michael speaks with urgency today because a spiritual process has already begun. Not tomorrow. Not someday. It has already started. Do not skip this. What you hear next connects directly to the title you saw, and by the end, you will understand why timing matters more than ever. There is a heavenly order that governs increase, protection, restoration, and honor. When that order is respected, doors open naturally. When it is interfered with, even strong people feel weak. What was revealed is this: a case was raised without your knowledge, not against your effort. Not against your character, but against your future. Someone you trusted more than you realized spoke words you never heard. Someone who smiled in daylight questioned your worth in silence. This person did not fight you openly. They moved quietly, using delay, doubt, and discouragement as their tools. You felt the effects, but you never saw the source. Michael reveals that what looked like bad timing was not timing at all. It was interference. Not physical. Spiritual. Stay till the end of this message because the clarity you are about to receive will calm your heart and steady your thoughts. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing has been wasted. There is something deeply personal in this message for those who have lost their mother, or feel an absence that still speaks louder than words. Her prayers did not end with her last breath. Love does not disappear. It changes position. If you have felt protected during moments you should not have survived emotionally, that was not coincidence. If you felt guided away from a decision without knowing why, that was not luck. She is aware. She is not distant. And she is aligned with what is happening right now. Michael says this is why the process was interrupted before it completed. Because unseen advocacy stepped in. Do not rush this moment. Let it settle. The phrase, blessing being revoked, sounds frightening, but hear this clearly. What is meant for you cannot be taken when truth is revealed in time. The danger was never loss. The danger was silence. And silence ends today. You are not being punished. You are being protected from receiving something at the wrong time, under the wrong condition, with the wrong influence attached to it. This is why you felt blocked instead of broken. Hold on, stay with me. Michael explains that release is not about fear. It is about awareness. When truth is acknowledged, authority returns. The moment you understand what was happening behind the scenes, confusion loosens its grip. Peace begins to replace pressure. Strength returns quietly, without noise. If you have been asking, why me? This message answers that question without accusing you. You were targeted because you carry something that cannot be replicated. Your resilience unsettled someone who depends on control. Your endurance made them uncomfortable. But their reach has limits. This message is not here to scare you. It is here to steady you. To remind you that justice does not always arrive loudly, but it always arrives precisely. Do not skip what is coming next. The next section reveals how this interference was identified, how it was stopped, and why your future looks very different from what your past tried to convince you of. Stay with me. Your understanding is about to shift, and once it does, you will never see your struggles the same way again. Stay with me. What you are hearing now is the part most people never get to understand, because they leave too early. Do not skip this moment. This section explains why injustice touches good people first, and how protection works even when it feels delayed. There is a pattern that repeats itself in the lives of those who carry sincerity. They give more than they receive. They stay quiet when they could speak. They endure disrespect without becoming bitter. And then they wonder why resistance follows them. Michael reveals something that changes everything. Opposition does not appear because you are weak. It appears because something about you cannot be controlled. What you called bad luck was actually restraint. What you thought was rejection was redirection. Heaven does not rush valuable outcomes into unstable conditions. Stay till the end of this section, because the understanding you gain here will settle your heart in a way nothing else has. There was a moment in your past when you almost accepted less than you deserved. You were tired. You were emotionally worn down. And you told yourself, maybe this is all I am meant to have. That thought did not come from you. It was planted quietly, repeated slowly, until doubt started sounding like logic. This is how interference works. Not loudly, not dramatically, but patiently. Michael says this is where divine defense stepped in. Not to embarrass anyone, not to expose names, but to pause the outcome until clarity arrived. If you are someone who has faced disrespect despite having a clean heart, this message is for you. If you were blamed for things you never did, this message is for you. If you were misunderstood while trying your best, this message is for you. Do not skip the next part. There is also a gentle presence around you that has not left. A nurturing strength. A quiet watchfulness that feels familiar. For those who miss their mother deeply, this will touch you in a personal way. Love does not disappear. It continues differently. When you felt sudden calm during chaos, that was not random. When you avoided a situation without knowing why, that was guidance. When your heart felt comforted in moments of loneliness, that was connection. Michael says those prayers are still active. They are part of why the process did not move forward without correction. This is not about fear of loss. It is about protection of value. Stay with me. What is unfolding now is not punishment, but realignment. When alignment returns, peace follows. When peace arrives, confidence restores itself naturally. You do not have to fight anyone. You do not have to prove yourself. You do not have to explain your worth. Justice does not require noise. If you have been feeling emotionally tired for no clear reason, it is because pressure was present without explanation. Once truth surfaces, pressure lifts. Do not skip what comes next. The next part reveals how release happens internally first, and why your future will no longer mirror your past. Stay till the end. This understanding is not common, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Listen carefully now. What you are feeling in this moment is not emotional weakness. It is recognition. Something inside you already knows that what has been happening in your life was never random. The delays, the disrespect that came from unexpected places, the moments where you were blamed even when you stayed silent. All of it connects to a deeper layer that is now being revealed. Do not skip this part. What is unfolding here explains why justice does not always arrive the way humans expect, but it always arrives the way heaven intends. There are laws that operate beyond visible systems. They do not shout. They do not rush. They wait until truth reaches the surface on its own. Michael reveals that when you were overlooked, it was recorded. When you were misunderstood, it was noted. When you were treated unfairly while still choosing integrity, that decision carried more weight than you realize. Stay till the end of this part, because this understanding will remove the heaviness you have been carrying without explanation. You were not ignored by God. You were protected from reacting too soon. There were moments when you could have defended yourself loudly, but something held you back. That pause was not fear. It was restraint guided by wisdom. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime truth. Restraint speaks louder in the spiritual realm than retaliation ever could. The reason certain people thought they succeeded against you is because outcomes were delayed, not denied. Delay creates confusion for the one being protected, but it creates exposure for the one interfering. Hold on, stay with me. Michael explains that the very area where you felt the most pressure is the same area where restoration is already forming. Nothing is being rebuilt from scratch. What exists is being corrected. If you have felt tired without being lazy, discouraged without being defeated, quiet without giving up, this message is for you. God defends differently than humans do. He does not always remove the battle immediately. Sometimes he removes the false narrative first. And when the narrative collapses, everything built on it collapses quietly. Do not skip this understanding. It will calm your mind more than any answer you have been seeking. Those who spoke against you are now being confronted with their own words. Not publicly, internally. You do not need to confront anyone. You do not need to prove anything. Truth is already doing that work for you. This is why peace has been returning slowly. This is why certain people stopped contacting you. This is why doors that once felt heavy now feel neutral instead of blocked. Spiritual justice does not rush. It rearranges. Stay till the end, because this next realization changes how you see your entire journey. Your endurance was not survival mode. It was preparation. You were learning how to remain steady when outcomes were uncertain. That skill cannot be taught any other way. And now, the same system that tested your patience is restoring your confidence. If you have felt a quiet reassurance recently, even without clear answers, that was not imagination. That was alignment returning. Do not skip the next part of this message. What comes next explains how this shift will begin to show in your daily life, your decisions, and your sense of self, without force, without fear, and without chaos. Stay with me. You are closer to clarity than you think. Stay focused with me. What is unfolding now is not emotional storytelling. It is alignment. Many people reach this point and feel something shift inside their chest. Not excitement. Not fear. Clarity. This is the moment where confusion loses its authority over you. If you have ever been treated unfairly and watched the wrong people advance while you were pushed aside, this part is for you. Don't skip. What you are about to understand explains why justice often feels slow but arrives exact. Michael reveals that heavenly justice does not respond to noise. It responds to truth. You were not ignored. You were being preserved. There is a reason certain doors stayed closed even when you knocked with effort, sincerity, and exhaustion. Those doors were not denying you. They were protecting you from stepping into something unfinished. Stay till the end of this part, because the way you see your past is about to change. When injustice happens, the natural question is, why did God allow this? But the deeper truth is this. Some delays are not permission for harm. They are preparation for exposure. The enemy you never saw relied on time, not strength. They assumed silence meant success. They assumed patience meant weakness. That assumption has now collapsed. Michael says the moment truth enters awareness, power shifts immediately. That is why this message feels heavy and calm at the same time. Something has already moved. If you feel your thoughts slowing down right now, that is not coincidence. Peace is evidence. Hold on, stay with me. You are not being asked to fight anyone. You are not being asked to defend yourself. Your role is alignment, not argument. God does not defend loudly. He defends thoroughly. Behind the scenes, What was spoken against you lost authority because it was not rooted in truth. Words that are not aligned cannot stand indefinitely. That is why your strength returned quietly. That is why you are still standing. For those who carry grief quietly, especially those who miss their mother deeply, hear this gently: love continues its work even when presence changes form. The comfort you felt at unexpected moments was real. The guidance you sensed was intentional. You were never alone in this process. Michael makes this clear: the protection around you did not start when this message began. It started long before you realized you needed it. That is why what was meant to limit you never reached completion. Don't skip this next truth. The reason this feels like a warning is not because something is being taken from you. It is because something false is being removed from your path. What was never meant to stay cannot define your future. Spiritual justice unfolds in layers. First, awareness. Then release. Then restoration. You are standing at the line between awareness and release. That is why your heart feels alert but not afraid. Stay till the end, because understanding brings stability, and stability brings momentum. From this point forward, you will notice something subtle. People who once had influence over your emotions will lose their effect. Situations that drained you will no longer pull the same energy from you. Your reactions will change before your circumstances do. That is how real shift begins. This message was not sent to entertain you. It was sent to remind you that you are defended even when unseen. God does not miss details. He does not forget names. He does not delay without reason. What you thought was being taken was being guarded until the right moment. That moment is now. Hold on. The final understanding is coming, and it will leave you steadier, clearer, and stronger than you have felt in a long time. Listen carefully now. This part is where many people suddenly feel something shift inside them. You may have wondered why justice seems slow, why truth feels delayed, why your heart has been carrying questions without answers. Stay till the end of this part, because what you are hearing now connects directly to the unseen defense working on your behalf. There is a difference between being ignored and being protected. When heaven steps in quietly, it does not announce itself. It rearranges outcomes. What was revealed is this: every unfair moment you endured was recorded, even when no human acknowledged it. Every tear you wiped away in silence was not invisible. Every time you chose restraint instead of reaction, something powerful was being formed. Do not skip this. This understanding alone can restore your confidence. Michael reveals that spiritual justice does not move emotionally. It moves accurately. It waits until truth can no longer be denied. That is why things seemed still. Not because nothing was happening, but because everything was aligning. Someone watching this has been blaming themselves for being too patient, too kind, too quiet. But patience was not weakness. It was strategy you did not know you were part of. Hold on, stay with me. There is a moment when resistance ends without conflict. When obstacles dissolve instead of exploding. That moment comes when false narratives lose support. This is happening now. What tried to drain your energy could not touch your core. What tried to limit your progress could not cancel your purpose. You were never losing ground. You were being preserved. If you have faced disrespect that made you question your worth, hear this clearly: your value was never up for debate. The delay was not denial. It was timing. Stay till the end of this message, because the calm you are feeling right now is not accidental. It is alignment returning. Michael says when protection is active, confusion fades first. Then confidence follows. Then direction becomes clear. Notice how your breathing feels different as you listen. Notice how your thoughts feel steadier. That is not imagination. That is reassurance. Someone watching has been carrying grief quietly, especially those who miss their mother deeply. That bond did not break. It transformed into guidance. Love does not end. It surrounds. This is why you were guarded when you felt most vulnerable. This is why certain doors closed without explanation. They were protecting your peace. Do not skip the next part. What comes next will explain how clarity becomes momentum, and how your future begins to move without struggle. Stay with me. You are not behind. You are right on time. Stay with me for a moment. What you are about to hear is the turning point many people wait for but rarely recognize when it arrives. If you have ever been treated unfairly, ignored after giving your best, or blamed for things you never caused, this message is speaking directly to you. Do not skip this part. Something important is settling into place right now. There is a quiet truth that has been unfolding behind your life. Not loud, not dramatic, but precise. You were never unseen. You were never unsupported. You were never forgotten. What looked like delay was actually restraint. What felt like silence was careful preparation. And what appeared to be loss was protection in disguise. Stay till the end of this section, because understanding this will lift a weight you have been carrying without knowing why. God does not defend loudly the way humans do. He defends through alignment, through timing, through positioning people and events so that truth reveals itself without force. There were moments you wanted to explain yourself, to prove your innocence, to correct the story others believed about you. But something held you back. That was not weakness. That was guidance. The truth is this: every false word spoken about you created a record. Every hidden intention formed a pattern. And every unjust action triggered a response you did not need to fight for. You did not lose because you stayed quiet. You were preserved. Hold on, stay with me. There is a reason your spirit did not break even when circumstances tried to bend you. There is a reason you kept going even when encouragement disappeared. There is a reason your heart still believes, even after disappointment. God was defending you in ways you could not see. What is happening now is not sudden. It is the result of a process completing itself. The confusion is lifting. The heaviness is easing. And clarity is replacing doubt. If you have felt a calm entering your thoughts lately, even without answers, that is not accidental. It is the sign that alignment is returning. Do not skip this next part mentally. Let it sink in. Justice does not always look like confrontation. Sometimes it looks like restoration. Sometimes it looks like peace returning where anxiety lived. Sometimes it looks like strength rising quietly inside you again. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are not late. Everything that tried to push you into fear failed. Everything that tried to lower your confidence lost its hold. Everything that tried to define you incorrectly is losing relevance. Stay till the end of this message because what is coming next explains why your future will not repeat your past. This is the moment where your understanding shifts, where you stop asking why it happened and start seeing what it protected you from. God's defense does not arrive to impress people. It arrives to preserve destiny. And your destiny is still intact. Stay with me. What you are hearing right now is not the end of the message. It is the turning point. Many people reach this moment and feel something shift inside them. A quiet realization, a deep calm, and a sudden understanding that what hurt them was never ignored by heaven. If you have faced injustice, disrespect, or silent opposition, listen carefully, because what was hidden is no longer hidden. There is a divine system that records everything, every tear you hid, every moment you stayed quiet to keep peace, every time you chose integrity when no one was watching. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was missed. God does not rush, but He never forgets. What Michael reveals here is powerful. The defense of your life was active even when you thought you were alone. While people misunderstood you, heaven understood you perfectly. While others questioned your value, Your name was being spoken with honor where it matters most. Do not skip this moment. This is where perspective changes. You may have wondered why certain people turned cold without explanation. Why opportunities slipped away at the last second. Why your kindness was sometimes met with silence. It was not rejection, it was redirection. God was protecting you from standing in places that could not sustain the future prepared for you. Stay till the end, because this understanding brings peace that logic cannot explain. There is a truth many do not talk about. Sometimes God defends you by removing you quietly, not by making noise. He shields you without announcements. He corrects situations without exposing you. That is why your story did not collapse. It paused. And now, it resumes with clarity. If your heart has been tired, let it rest here for a moment. You do not have to fight to be seen anymore. You do not have to explain your pain to those who never listened. God already responded. Michael speaks of a restoration that does not arrive through struggle, but through alignment. Things begin to fall into place naturally. Conversations change. Support appears unexpectedly. Confidence returns without force. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual justice unfolding quietly. Hold on, stay with me. There is comfort in knowing that your endurance was noticed, that your silence was strength, that your patience was wisdom, not weakness. If you have felt your mother's presence during moments of confusion, that is not imagination. Love continues beyond sight. Prayer continues beyond time. Protection does not end with absence. You are not walking this path alone. God defends you even when no one else understands your side of the story. He speaks for you when you remain quiet. He restores you without asking you to relive the pain. Do not skip this truth. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being guided into a chapter where peace replaces pressure. And as this message continues, deeper clarity is coming. What confused you will make sense. What drained you will release you. What hurt you will no longer define you. Stay till the end. This message is not just information, it is reassurance. And sometimes, reassurance is the breakthrough the heart has been waiting for. Listen carefully now. This part is not loud, but it is decisive. What you are hearing is meant to settle something inside you that has been restless for a long time. If you have ever felt misunderstood, quietly judged, or pushed aside while staying respectful and patient, this moment is for you. Do not skip this. Something important is aligning while you listen. Michael reveals that divine justice does not rush, but it never forgets. While others were speaking against you in silence, heaven was recording everything with clarity. Every intention, every motive, every hidden move. What looked like delay was actually protection. What felt like rejection was redirection. And what seemed unfair was being preserved for correction at the right time. Stay till the end, because this understanding changes how you carry yourself from today onward. There is a difference between being ignored by people and being covered by God. You were never invisible. You were shielded. Michael says that when injustice rises quietly, divine balance responds quietly as well. No chaos. No noise. Just precision. This is why you survived emotional moments that should have broken you. This is why your confidence returned even after being shaken. This is why peace began to enter your thoughts without explanation.